Members of the board. From Boardroom Productions, it's Boardroom Banter. Featuring your chairman of the board, David.
What is happening, everybody?
Chief Mayhem Officer, Derick.
Yo, 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 what is up?
And myself, Greg, your Chief of Obscurity. The following content is explicit. Discretion is advised.
Welcome, everybody, to Boardroom Banter. My name is David. To my left tonight is Derick.
What is up?
And to my right, Mr. Greg.
That's me.
It's always you. I love it. Want to welcome everybody to our episode tonight, starting your weekend the right way. Only because, the rest of your week's going to be depressing until next Friday. So, it's the way I look at it, at least. Do you?
Oh, well, definitely. Or, some of us will be a little busy in between times.
No, there's no busyness.
Secretly, I hope your week sucks until our episode comes out.
Yeah, and then it's going to be like Jesus coming down to you from the heavens, and you're going to be like, my God.
It's like the Ferris Bueller moment
salvation.
of I get to drive my dad's Ferrari right now.
Yes, salvation.
Yeah.
For just a couple of moments out of my week, I can lament on the time I've spent at work with these other fine gentlemen.
Yeah.
I don't even know what lament means. I don't know if half of our fucking people that listen to this will know what that means, but I just hope that they blow off some steam. They fucking, they love us or hate us or
I prefer
something.
The hate. I want the hate.
I want everything.
Oh, okay. You want love?
I want love and
want
hate
love.
and I want, anger, regret.
Sounds like you want
what's not
passion.
angry, though? You know what's not angry?
What's not angry?
Our sponsor,
Oh, man.
Boardroom Banter Ale.
Oh, our sponsor, Boardroom Banter Ale?
Yeah. You will never find it anywhere.
Never.
Ever.
Find it
ever.
in stores, nowhere near you.
If you do find it, it's going to be like Indiana Jones, and when the Ark of the Covenant is unsealed,
Ooh.
you're just going to melt.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say,
It's that good.
if you think you found it, send it to us, email us, let us know. But even if you did find it, we're probably going to still tell you to fuck off,
Yeah.
and it's still not going to happen.
I want to
It's a
remind
lowercase
everybody.
f, though. We're not going to capitalize.
We're not going to capitalize it or use any of those weird asterisks or...
Well, I may use the middle finger emoji. I don't know.
That is a good emoji.
It's.
You
I send
can
it,
change the colors of it.
I send it to my wife quite often.
It's one of my top 5.
The your number one emoji?
Yes,
That's how I look at it.
Yes, you're the number one emoji.
See, everybody's like, Derick, when you come into work, why are you flipping everybody off? I'm just telling you, you're number one.
Exactly. To me, it's just a bird flying by.
Right?
That's all it is. It's just a bird flying by.
It's not a very big bird either.
I can
No,
give you a flying fuck as I'm coming by. I can make it fly in there.
It's probably about a 4.5, 5-inch bird. Just saying.
That's why your measurements have been off your whole life. Hold up your middle finger again.
I use the metric
You
system.
said that's 4.5, 5 inches.
I use the metric system.
You got like a good 3.5 inch there, buddy.
Oh,
There's no way that's 4 inches.
really?
Are
From
you
the base to the top.
Are you the expert on 4 inches?
I told you. I only go off the metric. I thought that would have been 4.5 to 5 inches in standardized American.
I don't even think your finger's bigger than a credit card, and that's only 3.5 inches.
Oh, damn. I mean, I know what a 10 mil socket is supposed to
Dude,
look
I've
like.
lost
that's
so many
why
10 millimeter sockets in my
That's
life.
why I thought for sure that I knew what the measurement on my middle finger was.
I have spent more money on 10 millimeters and 8 millimeters than most people probably spent on cars in their life.
Well, which side are you measuring? From the top or from the bottom?
It's always from the base.
I think it's, but some guys get way too
Deep base.
yeah, some guys are like, they get into their chode area and they're like filling it all the way to where it almost breaks to the butthole. And they're like, oh, you see that? That's where the end is. I've got a 9-incher. And it's like, dude, you're having to try really fucking hard to get that measurement. Just let's agree you're 5.5. That extra measurement does not count because that never enters anybody. Whatever you're packing behind your chode, I'm sorry, bud.
You never know. They may be. Hey.
I do know.
Oh, okay.
Derick, you have always found yourself in the most interesting situations.
Yes.
What's up with that?
I don't know. This is just a measuring situation. Like, I'm just trying to, like, I'm not robbing any man, and I don't want to rob myself. But if you're, like, going, like, past the chode, and you're, like, measuring, like, oh, yeah, you fill that, I still fill the tube. Because we all know you can fill the tube, like, way past the chode. But do you measure that? Like, that doesn't even count. You're not getting that in there.
I can agree that you should only be measuring usable workspace.
I was going to say, for a Tinder profile, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine for a Tinder profile.
Yes, you turn off the lights and just give them all fury.
Yeah.
That scares me.
They won't know any different.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, she whipped out a dick that was bigger than mine. I think Afro Man said it the best. But
yeah, and you know what's weird is the fact that was a joke then.
It's not now.
It's not a joke now.
He was way ahead of our times.
Yes.
Thank you, Afro Man.
Yeah. You called it many, many moons ago.
Speaking of many, many moons ago, I have a question for you guys.
You got a question for us?
What's up?
What, if anything, in your childhood scared the absolute pee-pee out of you?
All right.
There's a couple things, because I was a scared little bitch when I was a child.
Has anything changed?
Okay.
A lot has changed.
Just kidding. I was just kidding.
A lot. But then I was... So, Predator. You remember the Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that guy's voice didn't get me.
Okay. Well, the Predator got me. He scared the fuck out of me when I was a child.
I had a couple action figures. That didn't scare me as much, but I could see how that was very scary.
I was
the
kind of
dreadlocks,
individual
the
because I didn't understand
noises, the...
Yeah. I didn't understand heat vision. So I thought when I was a child, I was like, oh, I'll hide underneath my covers and he can't get me. He would have got me.
You'd have been fucking terminated.
Exactly. Now knowing what I know now, but back then as a child, I was scared shitless of when the Predator came out. That, and I couldn't... Jaws. I used to think Jaws would get me in the bathtub.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's pretty sad. I was that scared of a child.
Was it Scoutmaster Jaws?
As a little kid, I just looked at all my floaties coming by as a child in a bathtub.
Why did you have floaties in the bathtub?
Because I was a fat kid, man. It was horrible. I was, fat and...
This is why he doesn't like baths.
Oh, that explains
This
it.
does explain it, because you're in your fucking poop soup. Like, you can't reach around to wipe it good enough. You have a little floater in the bathtub, and you're like, oh, what's that? Oh, yeah. And then you hit it, and then you smell it on the finger, and it's like, oh.
Most people can wipe their ass properly, but I guess...
I think that was past, like...
I guess
when I was 13 years old, I think I accomplished that.
With doing that, so...
There's a grade curve. There's like a learning curve.
Oh, there is?
Well, so...
Did you call that a Greg curve?
No, a grade curve.
Oh, okay.
Or a learning curve.
Yeah.
I thought you said Greg curve there for a minute. I was like, what the fuck? What are you talking? You're talking my language.
Do you want to see a Greg curve?
Yes.
Hey-o. Hey, so we figured out that Derick did not like floaties in the bathtub, but what was it that actually scared the living daylights
What had
out of
you to where when your mother laid you down at night?
Wasn't a mother. She was a horrible person, but...
Oh, okay.
So, the thing that scared the living shit out of me was Stephen King's It.
That was a good one.
I watched that when I was at an age you probably shouldn't watch that at.
Yeah.
Was living with my grandparents. I remember I watched that and I was sleeping on my grandparents' floor for like the next 2 weeks. Like I wouldn't even enter my bedroom. I was young. Clowns freaked me the fuck out from that day.
It's usually that's usually what got most people.
And it was a little weird. So like clowns from then on. So like my next door neighbor growing up to my grandparents, their son was the ringleader for Barnum and Bailey's circus.
Okay.
So like
Nice.
they would give us like
They gave you free
awesome
shows?
tickets to like front seat, like the circus that came in, but like there was always these clowns and the midget clowns, man. The short little midget clowns, And I went to this event and I was so afraid of them. And I had this White Sox hat on that I put backwards, I don't know, as a defense mechanism. And one of these little clowns put their fucking sticker on my hat, like on the brim of my hat, right? I didn't see it the whole night because my hat was on backwards.
They got you.
All I remember is I went home that night and I turned my hat around and saw that motherfucker on the brim of my hat and cried. And I cried for fucking a couple days. Like, I was fucking terrified. So now when I see it, like, I got nothing against midgets or like clowns, but when I see a midget clown, I am fucking done. Like a midget clown, I'm fucking horrified. Like, and it reminds me of the It guy, because the It guy was kind of a fucking midget clown on there, and he was very fucking horrifying. And so whenever I think of a midget clown, I think of him as a midget clown.
Just because he was inside like a sewer duct, and
yes,
it made him look low to the ground.
Yes,
so
but
you had to look down. Okay,
between that and Barnum and Bailey Circus, fuck you, midget clowns.
Wow.
So midget clowns, if you want to fucking ruin my whole life, just come out with a movie with midget clowns.
It is Halloween season.
Whoever fills me, will you please send us an email to...
Listen, it's
Boardroom
Banter
at gmail.com.
How's it spelled, David?
B.O.R.E.D. Like you're bored as fuck in a room and you like to banter at gmail.com.
And if you got some fucked up midget clowns that you want to send, I'm probably going to fucking throw something at the screen or freak out or something. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, whoever invented it and the midget clowns and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
I think that was Barnum and Bailey.
This episode is so going to get us canceled.
Yeah.
Why?
Sorry, cancel culture.
I'm sure it's probably the 40 times you said midget.
Well, you know what?
Now
Here's
41.
Here's the deal.
Okay, I got nothing against midgets.
We have nothing.
I was born in a different era.
You know what? That's all it is. It's called midgetism.
Well, so
dwarfism.
That too.
If you were... When you were a child, did you have a person sitting there telling you what the appropriate thing for the time to say was?
Not for the time.
Did you have a clown fucking there taunting you, though, and sticking a sticker on your hat? Because I did.
Not for the time.
So what I'm trying to say is that, if you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly.
But
you don't.
But the hate's not there.
The hate's not there.
Yeah.
The hate's not there, and it's the time. It's what you grew up with.
Yeah. Well, it just as somebody who knows Derick,
we're just having fun.
Mayhem officer.
That's all it is. If you can't have a laugh, definitely not.
I happen to know.
You know what I'm going to say? If you can't have a laugh, then fuck you and don't watch this episode.
There we are.
Don't listen to it.
I was going to try and be like nice about it and just say,
you guys are being way too nice about this. Is like, let's cuddle people while we're on a podcast.
No.
This is, if you don't like it, fuck you.
No, you're right about that.
I don't like. I love. What do you? I don't know.
So little people, I think, is the PC term.
But if you're a fucking clown and you're coming at me like
you're
that,
little,
punch him in the face.
little,
like you freak me the fuck out. I don't know what the appropriate term is. I love you. I love all. But if you don't like what we're saying, fuck you.
Yeah.
We're not going to be cuddly soft. This isn't like fucking Charmin.
I stand behind that statement, Derek.
All right.
If you're a member of the board, you should not be offended.
No.
Yeah.
You should not be offended.
If you're offended, please send your email to boardroombanter@gmail.com because I would love to hear what you have to say.
I was going to tell them to go fuck yourself at gmail.com.
You know what? I wish there was
that's an email address.
Do you know what, though?
I guarantee it's an email address.
Do you know what, though? I wish there was a take back a like. Because if you ever liked us and then you don't like what we're saying, like, could I like take our algorithm and fuck it all up? Can I take back a like from you?
You can on YouTube, at least. I don't know about the other platforms, but on YouTube, you surely can take back a like. And
I knew you'd have the correct answer for that, but I just
introduce it as a dislike.
Oh, fuck. We can.
That is my new favorite thing. I've been begging for a thumbs down for years.
Shut your whore mouth.
On social media platforms.
I mean, I've anticipated that we're going to get a thumbs down at some point in time. So far, not.
I don't think we're doing it right if we're not getting a thumbs down.
In our very early illustrious YouTube and social media career of doing a podcast, we have not had a single dislike yet.
No. So
someone's going to review bomb us now.
We do got to send out a message for Brad right now. Brad, if you're listening,
What? Brad?
Brad.
I thought it was Brian.
It's
No,
not Brian.
it's
You got that
Brad.
wrong. That's probably why he hasn't replied.
Probably. Oh, he hasn't. Oh, that's right. He hasn't. I'm sorry, Brad.
But Brad, we are sending out an SOS right now for you.
Yeah, I'm very concerned that we haven't heard
Yeah.
from our top fan.
You were
Brad.
supposed to be our number one fan, and you did not come through.
You have not responded once.
It's, I mean, basically, we're gonna ban you.
You
from
know,
the room.
guys.
You're
I
banned
want
from the boardroom.
I want to give Brad, like, maybe he's busy, right?
Oh.
Or maybe he's tied up in a basement because somebody got tired of hearing him.
I
talk
hope he has
about
a
us.
safe word.
Yeah.
A really good safe word.
It's
If he's tied up in a
probably-
basement, I hope he's, like blueberry pancakes.
No,
or
it's
something
probably
like that,
Bananarama or something.
We're going to have to update our number one fan if you don't get back to us. So.
I'm pretty disappointed actually because Derick, he made this big thing. He made this big stink that we got a number one fan already. His wife is trying to tell him to get off the podcast. Maybe his wife won.
You made me look stupid again, Brad.
Brad,
You're
if
forever known as
listening-
Brian.
Brian.
You're
whatever.
Brian.
Every time you say Brian, I just think of the fucking dog on Family Guy.
See, exactly. At least he's cool.
So, Brad, if you're listening and you are not safe at home, feel free to email us at boardroombanter@gmail.com and order a pepperoni pizza with extra cheese.
Famunda cheese.
Make sure to include your delivery address so that we can come by and make fun of you.
Or save you.
No,
something.
We're not saving you.
Maybe we will throw the empty cans.
I mean, what
of
if-
the crispest beer on earth at
Yes.
What if he's being subdued without... What if they're just like, you have listened to so much boardroom banter and you are saying so much about this that I'm just tying you up and you can't listen to him?
you? Are his pants on or off?
Either
matters.
situation.
If his pants aren't on, I'm not knocking on the door.
All right.
There's a rule about that.
All right.
It's yeah.
If I look in the window and your pants are off, I'm leaving.
Derek's got some experience in opening doors with people with their pants off.
Oh, yeah.
Did I miss a story?
I don't feel like a whole bunch of people would be like,
We got that
There.
shit. We got that shit on camera.
oh man.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You walked into the bathroom at work and somebody was there with their pants off?
I've done that many
no.
times.
I know what you're referring
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was there that day.
Yep, we were all there.
We're
that
Mr.
day.
Maglite. Yeah. Mr. Maglite. If you're listening to this, Mr. Maglite, email us at boardroombanter@gmail.com.
So I wasn't even
That
the one
dude
to say it.
He's in a fucking opium
No.
den
So
somewhere.
do you know that vehicle today did show back up
Oh boy.
for some reason, and the person that sold it had to remind me of that story. So,
It's a good story.
yeah.
It's a great
You
story.
know, especially watching you on camera. My God.
Speaking of stories.
It was like you saw a black cat or something.
Oh, I
Yeah,
saw
man.
something.
He jumped up 10 feet and backwards 10 feet at the
Yep.
same time,
Yep.
That was the first times I saw a Pringles can that wasn't on the shelf.
right? An unwrapped Pringles can, if you will.
If you're fucking packing a Pringles can like that, like, God bless you. That's why it wouldn't work either.
So for people that want to like know more on this one, Derick saw somebody what looked to be in a car. He wasn't quite sure, but he opened the door, and when he opened the door, he had actually witnessed this guy that was passed out in a car on heroin, but his pants were completely down to his ankles. No one knows why or anything. That's why we got this on camera. But he opens the door, and that's why he jumped back as far as he did, because, well, when you open it, you expect like clothing and pants. And shoes
No, I
on a person.
expect when you're dead,
And he-
your dick is shriveled up.
I think
Well,
if
there
they-
is that too.
It doesn't look
But-
like a fucking raging fire hose.
an angry fire hose.
That's going.
That is
Oh, boy.
going.
I know why that guy didn't work a day in his life, because he didn't have to.
Well, you know what they say, when you're like extra skinny, it makes your penis look bigger.
No, I didn't know if it was his thigh or if it was an extra extension of him. Like, it was like I saw 3 thighs sitting there.
Oh, good God.
Wow. So you're like, where's the extra person?
Yeah.
Where's the other? Where's there's no one sitting on his lap.
So,
Dude,
Derick-
I've seen some penises in my day. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I've, just been around, not in that way, but I've been around in different situations. And, like, this
You've
guy,
seen many a men in a shower.
you've seen many a penises, too.
I have.
Yeah.
It's not something I like to brag about,
No.
but I have.
But I'm just saying, man, like, this guy had a fucking, like, you see that blue thing right there? Like, you see that fucking, those paper towel roll right there? That's what it pretty much looked like.
Good God.
That's to clean up the cum.
Just to be
In my
clear
sex
about
dungeon.
this, that paper towel roll is about 2/3 the way gone.
Well,
Do you know what I ever
But
thought? I was
still.
like,
I mean,
I looked
but
at this guy and I
with-
said, no wonder why you don't work.
With
I
you-
would never work a day in my life,
with
sir.
the amount of jism that gets thrown around in my little dungeon here, I'm surprised that roll is still around. But it is the most absorbent roll you can find on the market.
Yeah.
So
those are
your
the
dungeon-
Those are
shop
the best.
towels.
Your dungeon?
Yes.
I got a dungeon we should talk about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What dungeon is that?
Let's talk about Vince McMahon's fucking dungeon that he's got going on right now.
That is a deep, dark dungeon.
Such
man.
a dank, nasty place to be.
It's ooh-wee.
My, how the mighty are falling.
So for anybody on here who has watched the Vince McMahon documentary, you can totally leave comments, everything like that. Go with us on this one, but I'm 5.5 episodes through on that documentary at the moment. And wow. Can I just say right now, first and foremost, out of what I've seen so far, knowing what we know about, say, Diddy or Epstein or any of these other people high up, what is it with the pedophilia?
I don't know. But
Motherfucker, all
What is it with the pedo? Like,
There's something wrong
legitimately,
with people.
like, if that was okay, so that happened, I think they said in 85 when those accusations came out, when they were talking about the Ring Boys and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. And that was with the promoter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but still,
And then
imagine if that happened today.
So spoiler alert, they come out later, like later in that episode
Yeah.
in the documentary, and say that he was hired back and it was unfounded, but then
They fired
immediate-
2 other guys.
Yeah.
All I
and
got to
then-
say for the documentary is that he frontlined Diddy's parties.
So he also
He was the white
100%. He also 100% frontlined that documentary.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of weird watching it right now because this whole documentary that came out, they filmed it years before all these accusations came out. So, being that I haven't watched everything yet, I'm curious to see if they're going to go there, being that it came out after. But I mean, most of the stuff they said in the very on episode 1 is that most of the stuff was filmed in 2021, I think it was. Something like that, well before any of these accusations came out.
Well,
And they had to-
before,
And they had,
or
well, like even episode 5, they had to preface episode 5 with wording saying that this was filmed before any accusations came out.
but was it?
It's almost like all this horrible shit you see though at the end of every episode. You're like, so this person sued WWF,
Yeah.
but then WWF sued this person,
Yeah.
and we got all of our money back essentially, right? So this is just like
weird how that works out, huh?
yeah. It's just like it's just a vicious cycle of like I don't even know, man. Like watching this shit and seeing it happen, and
It was even like
Vince McMahon is a horrible fucking person.
For anyone that hasn't fully watched yet, episode 5 is about Trish Stratus and Sable. Okay. We all, if you grew up watching, you know who those two people are. If you grew up watching wrestling, you know who the hell those two people are.
Absolutely.
And it was kind of odd because I remember Trish.
How many times did you jerk off to Sable?
You know, I
I'm
don't
not gonna answer
typically
that.
keep a log of that
I have a Fifth Amendment right.
All right, just seeing.
I will.
in the boardroom.
Even in the boardroom.
Even when the panda's looking at
the
you,
panda can look at me all he wants with
The
his little
panda is
squinty
looking
eye
at
and his
you
fucking
in-
gimp mask and all that.
He's looking at you in disdain.
He
bro,
is.
we all looked at Sable and we were like, yeah.
So,
That era, I was.
It even said last night on the episodes for the women's portions of the WWF productions how many people tuned in?
Yeah.
Well, it was way more people than
of course.
It even goes with if I wanted
chocolate fucking wrestling matches. Like,
but if I wanted
demographic.
I could leapfrog off of that, and that goes with even the UFC. So even in the UFC days when women were kind of coming up as fighters, Dana White even came out and he's like, women will never be in our promotion.
Dana White don't hold a fucking candle to Vince McMahon.
But here, I'm just saying though, like, and this is what I mean, like how you're saying about women in WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it nowadays, but how they actually were a draw. You can actually piggyback.
Women have
over.
been sexualized, and that's a fucking that's a horrible thing. Like it is. It's a horrible fucking thing, and I feel bad for the whole demographic of women because of that.
Because I didn't realize when I was that young, I didn't realize why Sable had taken off from the WWE.
I just knew I had a boner.
Or WWF, whatever you want to call it. I didn't know that was the reason. Until
why can't I see her more?
So now I find it weird because now that I know that she took off because she was suing the company, but she came back and worked for them after suing the company for sexual harassment, and then she worked for them immediately again.
You know what I didn't realize?
That's like, what?
I didn't realize how many women were in thongs in professional wrestling until I look back on it now, and I was like,
back then,
this was the spank bank of my fucking existence back then.
So if it
wasn't for WWF, my spank bank would have been fucking cleared probably.
And I grew up at the beginning to early stages of Attitude Era. Like those are my earliest memories.
Yeah,
and. You know, funny enough, like my mom one time, she caught me watching an episode of Monday Night Raw.
Were your pants on?
Of course they were.
How many times did you jerk off to a character on fucking one of those outlets?
At that time, being that young, it took a lot longer than just those few seconds. Okay. That was at a time when I had to build up being able to look at something for 30 seconds and being...
You had to build up as an adolescent?
Yes.
For 30 seconds.
My dick would get hard when I saw a fucking Shopko ad with fucking bras. And you had to build up? So you had to build up for like weeks? Like weekly subscriptions of these magazines that you used to see, like the fucking lingerie ads that your mom used to get?
She saw an episode of Monday Night Raw and Val Venus came out.
Uh-huh.
And when she looked at me and she was like, "You're never watching this again." She's like, "What is this that you're watching? You are not watching this." Oh, yeah. It was Val Venus that actually got me kind of banned from... I still watched it. I still got away with it. But...
Can I ask you guys an honest question?
At that time, the parent came in and was like, "You're not watching WWF."
Well, as a parent now, can you blame her?
I've gotten...
remembering, like watching some of the clips that they brought up and stuff, and I've remembered those clips now, and I'm like, that's true. Like, golly, like you couldn't get away with that today
I've got a question for you too, though.
I remember. Okay. I remembered, and it was funny because I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But the match between Stephanie and Vince.
Yeah.
I remember that. I totally forgot that match happened. I remember once it actually came on. I was like, "Oh fuck!" I remember what. And then you're like, "Oh yeah."
It was like the NFL back then.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
It was huge.
That was a big thing.
Yeah.
And I totally, because I mean it's life. That's 20 to 25 years.
Oh yeah, WWF was fucking a lot of years ago.
When that happened, yeah. And so, but it kickstart my memory bank, and I was like, "Oh wow, I remember that." And then you kind of have to be like, well, "Yeah, that's a little fucking weird." Like,
so, would you guys have banged China?
No, a little too much.
Back in the day,
a little too much muscle for my liking.
Come on.
No, it's too much.
I mean, she was kind of like, if you gave her 2 more arms, she was like the chick Goro in Mortal Kombat 3.
Kinda.
Yeah.
The final boss. Yeah.
Yeah, and she had big old boobs, but also she was Goro.
All I remember, too, is like the D-Generation X era, and like how many times they used to say to suck it. Because I remember like
I like that they threw in videos of young kids saying "suck it"
Yeah.
with all the 90s wear and the steel ball necklaces.
I remember like middle school, right? Like elementary school, like you were always on the playground, like, and you were even do the D-Generation X where you were like humping the X sign.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows what I'm saying when you're saying that.
I got
like,
yelled at so much as a kid doing that.
Yeah.
But there was a meme not too long ago that I saw that said how every 90s child said hi to one another.
Yep.
And it literally was.
Yep.
That was the greeting, was to just give it a good old D-Generation X, just
fucking suck it.
And everyone knew it was up. They're like, ah.
Yeah.
That was it. You knew it was up.
Nowadays, you're getting fucking hate mail.
No, nowadays, if you try to throw that, they're going to look at me like, what the fuck is that? And then you're going to feel really old because they're not going to even know what that reference is.
So I was talking the other night, and I was even like, my kid's 13, and I was like, oh yeah, you watch WWF and all this shit, and you remember all this, and he was like, no, I've never watched professional wrestling at all, Dad.
What?
Well, yeah, he was never in that era. He's 13. Well, I'm fucking 35.
Well, I know, and that era was like really unique in the 90s for the times too, as far as like the climbing to the peak of the WWE, WWF, whatever. And then I didn't actually realize in the time that the WCW was a completely different thing and that they were competitors. I really thought at the time that they were just playing off of each other and that they were the same organization, that it just, it was all just for show.
So I remember that. I remember that time frame very vividly, actually, because me and my friends when I was growing up was all about wrestling, man. Like I had 2 different rings that would make 2 different sounds, and I probably had like 35 to 40 wrestling action figures. And all the tables that would break and shit and accessories and stuff. Like
That's
I was
awesome.
I was fucking hardcore into wrestling.
Nice.
And I don't know, man. Like there's just, what were we saying?
We were talking about how the WCW and the WWE were actually competition.
I watched a lot of WCW when it first came out. And I really liked WCW, and WWF, as they admitted in the documentary, was kind of we didn't have a lot of fans. We didn't have a lot of followers. WCW was taking over when it first came. And like, there's one person I didn't see in the documentary, Goldberg. Like, he was one of my favorite fucking wrestlers in the WCW.
Bill Goldberg was the shit.
And I probably watched WCW for like the Wolfpack, for Bill Goldberg, for, that shit that was going on, for Sting. Like, Sting was a fucking phenomenal wrestler.
I didn't watch WCW a whole lot, to be honest.
Well, I was just telling Derek that, like, I didn't realize at the time, but it makes perfect sense now that WWE and WCW were in competition. I thought it was just writing. I thought all that stuff between them and the players hopping back and forth and between different quote-unquote factions and things of that nature was really just the writing of the show.
Because you thought it was one and the same.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. Now, yes, you get it. I was kind of surprised at Hulk Hogan, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't realize what a backstab that was.
Of him going out and saying, hey, these guys are trying to unionize on you. That blew me away. But I mean, this is we're talking what? Mid-'80s, early 80s, right in there?
No. We're talking about, anywhere from the mid-'80s to the mid-'90s, because that was kind of the escalation period of professional wrestling.
But that kind of blew me away but I'm not shocked, because at that time, Derick and his okay, so everyone, sorry, I didn't mean to break
fourth wall break.
Yeah, a little fourth wall break. Little fourth wall going on there. Derick had literally stepped out as soon as I started talking to go pee, and he's back so fast.
So excited about this WWE, WWF, because you guys are saying WWE, and even back then it wasn't WWE. Back then when it was WWF.
And the only reason they changed is because the World Wildlife Foundation sued them. and they had to change that.
Yes.
It will. On podcast purposes, I don't even know if that actually.
I think they went to
flies.
WWE when they merged too, because it was WWF and it was WCW, wasn't it?
No. So the whole because WWF obviously bought them out at that time once it happened, but they were still known as WWF. The only reason they, at least in my eyes, that from what I remember. I'm not like deep into wrestling anymore because I think it
used to be real.
It was very real. I mean,
now it's fake.
It's very like, do you remember the whole build up when, they were when they were bringing Kane?
Man.
The build up to that
and the Undertaker Kane shit.
Your brother still lives.
Yep.
He lives.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
And then when they finally brought him out, dude, when Kane came out, that was, it was so,
and it talked about that in the documentary too, how wrestling changed from going to like kids to like people that were
our age.
Yeah.
But even then, like I remember seeing Hulk.
I think that was almost as quick as mine.
Hulk and Ric Flair going at it. That was pretty quick, actually. Greg went out. No one. I'm sorry. I'm always a marathon pisser. Yeah. That's why you guys didn't hear my voice for a little bit.
Dude, the Nature Boy Ric Flair though, like he was one of the. I'm gonna say WCW had some fucking hitters though. Like
no, they had great talent.
Eddie Guerrera,
great talent.
Rey Mysterio Jr.
Oh yeah,
Goldberg
was great.
Kevin Nash.
Well, Kevin Nash, he came from WWF.
Okay, let's be real. So Stone Cold Steve Austin came from ECW, which I never fucking even knew that.
I didn't know that
I
either.
never knew Stone Cold looked as soft as he did with his
them long
before
blonde
he was bald.
My God.
Okay. So that surprised the fuck out of me. And his first name, I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, "That's what you went by."
Yeah,
Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you're listening, email David at boardroombanter@gmail.com to talk about your long gold locks.
And that's because Stone Cold said so.
Hey, we matched. Yeah. There's old photos of me. I had a beautiful bleach blonde looking mullet back.
I'm just saying,
it was the best mullet that's ever been on an American head.
Best
it came directly from America by American barbers.
I had more respect for Stone Cold Steve Austin before I saw that part.
Whoa.
I still have a lot of respect for Stone Cold.
No, I do, seeing him in ECW with the long hair, I was like, haven't you been bald since birth, motherfucker?
I didn't know he came from right? Because I remember ECW.
That was always like, you don't watch that.
And you didn't watch it, but you would, if nothing, you would watch it when it was on and say WWF was on or WCW wasn't on. You would end up watching it. I just didn't know it was him in there. I didn't know he was an acting participant in ECW.
You know who would really have a lot of good
which is
insight
weird
on this?
Because that's the perfect place for fucking Mick Foley.
Mick Foley was probably my favorite at that point in time, one of anyways.
Okay, so who can answer this boardroom banter trivia question?
Wait, are we supposed to answer it, or is it just for
either you or any boardroom banter participant? How many different identities did Mick Foley go through while he was in the WWF Federation or WWE Federation?
All right.
So how many different personas has Mick Foley gone through?
I think I know of 2 or 3.
I know Mick Foley
and Cactus
Mankind, Dude Love, and there was another one too. Cactus Jack.
I knew about Cactus
So
Jack.
I know 4 of them.
Yeah.
Is there another one? Did I say Mankind? I said Mankind, right?
Yeah.
So there was,
but hey, maybe.
And I think there's one more.
Well, who knows? I mean, when he was wrestling in Japan, because that was his big thing, is he wrestled over in Japan a lot.
I mean, I didn't see that broadcasted, so I'm just saying, like, as far as
that could be a character.
So we've got 4 personas for this motherfucker, and he's huge in wrestling. Like, he was one of the first people that were getting thrown off the cage matches, like
the thumbtack match in the cage. Yeah, from the ladder.
Yeah,
he was big into those big aerial stunts.
Yeah. Well,
and I will admit that
I think he was the only one that really had the experience in it, just coming from where he came from. Because in Japan, Dude, I mean, they were hitting themselves 2x4s with barbed wire and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you,
too.
Hulk Hogan. Thank you for what you said yesterday.
The ropes were, instead of it being a rope for the ring, they were barbed wire around the ring.
So Hulk Hogan last night, when I was watching this with my beloved other,
I have a very different opinion of Hulk after watching this.
But when he was saying, like, because, you know, my significant other is always like, wrestling is fake, fuck wrestling, da-da-da. And I've been a huge wrestling fan my whole life. And I'm like, there's aspects that go into that isn't fake. But when Hulk Hogan finally said last night, like, hey, half this isn't fake. Like, I've had how many surgeries, I've gone through how many, like, it is fake, it is staged, but like,
Owen Hart.
I was like, thank you for saying that. Like,
I've always, even as a kid, I knew it wasn't quote unquote real.
No, it's not
It
real.
was written, but the stunts are not fake.
But it was so much. It was so okay. So I'll take this back to little me. It was so fucking cool to watch.
Right.
It was so cool to
Oh, yeah.
watch. I didn't care that it wasn't real. It was fucking cool to watch, minus, you know, the fucking part as a little kid. But it was just.
Do you know
it
what?
was awesome.
Do you know one of my biggest disappointments of my adult age, though?
What?
The Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is like 10 times bigger now than he ever was wrestling.
Oh,
Could you imagine seeing that beast going against Brock Lesnar with the fucking size he is now?
Well, Brock
you know,
Lesnar's hands are
I'm just saying, the way that The Rock is now, he's done so many fucking steroids.
Oh, I was just gonna say he's
admitted to doing steroids
He's
now.
got really good money for supplements.
Yeah.
Well,
I just thought that was it. And he's got like the most money for really good weight equipment with his like best on the market supplements.
Yeah, he does a lot of steroids.
Oh, okay.
No, he does a lot, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has admitted to like down cycles that you should be very aware of what you're doing and like the different
wrestlers
attributes it can.
Hey, wrestlers don't do steroids.
Hulk Hogan got caught doing that too.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Vince McMahon.
I don't do
no,
steroids, brother.
They stopped that in like the late 80s.
They stopped being honest about it in the late 80s.
I have seen Vince McMahon, which you guys have with his shirt off, more times than I want to in these episodes. But holy fuck, I didn't know Vince McMahon was that big his whole life.
Vince was yoked,
dude.
He's fucking beefcake,
Yo,
dude.
Holy fuck!
And here's the guy is almost in his 80s.
And he's still
yoked as fuck.
How many
Yeah, I wonder how
steroids
that
do you do,
happened.
Vince McMahon?
Oh, that's the best that money can buy.
I bet he's
What
had
is your
a-
regimen?
I mean, that's the stuff you're going a little south of the border for.
Yeah.
And you're getting that extra.
I
with the
bet
money
he's
you
had
got.
a beer vat's worth of human growth hormone and testosterone pumped into him.
He's got his own fucking hyperbaric time chamber from Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, Arnold, you look small compared
Right.
to Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Well,
If you put two 70-year-olds next together and Vince McMahon and Arnold sitting next to each other,
Yeah.
Vince McMahon's kicking his ass.
yeah, physically, yeah.
Yeah.
In physique, Vince is still looks great.
Yeah, how?
lots of steroids and lots of heart medication.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a cocktail.
Yeah.
You know.
It's going to be a cocktail if he doesn't win those lawsuits, right?
So do you think
Hey.
he was supplying the whole WWF Federation with
Oh,
steroids?
No.
100%.
No, I no, personally
That doctor was for a while, but I think
after seeing that and just after seeing the documentary what they have so far, I know because you would imagine in today's day and age, if this was filmed prior to all the bullshit that's come out on Vince McMahon, they would have painted that in a worse light for Vince. Personally, after seeing that and the interviews that they have some of the guys,
dude, the guy's pretty bulletproof.
I at least believe that it was just he didn't care enough to force it. He just like in his head he probably knew the guys were doing it, obviously, but he wasn't like, "Oh, it's our fucking doctor for this place that's doing it." He just figured
He knew what was going on.
He just figured these guys were getting their
no,
own
he
shit.
fucking knew.
He figured at least
No.
to me,
Well, yeah. So David's saying he did know,
He
but he
knew.
turned a blind eye.
He turned a
Right.
blind eye because it wasn't
Because he was taking them too?
They
Well,
Well, he was taking them too, but what they were trying to pin him on federally, at least, is that he was the one that was telling them to get like he was the one pressuring these people to do steroids.
So
and that part, I believe. I at least believe that much of just he turned a blind eye. He probably didn't know. I mean, he got steroids prescribed from that same doctor because he admitted himself that, hey, I took steroids. He still did. But
still does.
In terms of how the Fed was trying to hit him with the case, obviously it wasn't him ringleading it, because that's what they were trying to say, is that he was a ringleader of forcing these guys to do it, so forth. So no, he was just like, hey, I'm going to do my stuff from the doctor here. It's prescribed to me. Cool. These guys, okay, he's looking yoked, but...
Yeah, so he went about all the same things, just in a more legal way, because, I don't believe that he would just come out and say, like, oh, hey, make sure you go to the store and pick up, a loaf of bread and your steroids there, sonny.
Exactly.
So, but, obviously he's going to make recommendations of what doctors to go to. He's not going to have any kind of, vetting for these people. And then when steroids actually become illegal, which was in the 80s, then of course it's going to be like, hey, we're not doing this anymore, right, guys? Elbow nudge, wink.
I liked it.
Steroids are legal now. It's just who you want to pay off.
I at least like that Hulk admitted that he kind of ruined his career a bit.
Sure.
In that whole fiasco.
Yeah, because he denied doing steroids and how he was saying he was clean and I don't do steroids, brother, and then got popped for that shit.
Yeah. So, at least he owned up to that but again, when it comes to Vince, I don't think he pushed it on the guys. The guys just knew that this is what we need to look like. So
I don't know whether Vince pushed on the guys now with this documentary, man.
The doctor guy, they could have been quiet about it, because who knows? They're like, okay, you're on it, whatever it may be, but you don't want to.
Can I say something now, though?
Go ahead.
The doctor guy has been in prison, or he's been accused, or he's been on the sidelines for how long now?
Yeah.
And how much bigger are professional wrestlers still getting right now?
Well, the thing is
I don't watch it much.
They snag these people up from gyms. They go after a specific kind of person for this role. So they need to be a bodybuilder because they need to have the physique that sells their image.
I don't watch it much anymore, but besides,
there's definitely no testing for.
So besides Roman Reigns and Batista, which I don't know if he was really on anything, and then RKO. Who does the RKO? I'm trying to remember names here because I don't watch modern wrestling.
I don't watch any modern wrestling.
Me either.
God dang it. Say it in the comments. He does the RKO. I know his finisher, at least. But of those couple people, those are the most physically gifted, and Brock Lesnar obviously there, but they're the most physically gifted looking individuals. But everyone else that I see in that I've seen pictures of in the modern WWE, they're all they're little.
So a lot of those guys, Dwayne
The
Rock Johnson has came out saying that he does steroids now.
Oh, he did finally?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's been articles.
I mean, when you're 2% body fat and you've got 30-inch biceps, no shit, you're doing steroids.
But he was never that big,
right?
As a professional wrestler,
no, he wasn't.
Ever.
He got bigger outside of.
And this was, I think,
and that was the movie industry that did that to him.
That's what I was just gonna say. That was more the entertainment and movies and stuff than it was for wrestling.
They're all. I mean,
you would have made a way better wrestler if you were that big.
Look at Hugh Jackman. You can't, being the age he is, I think he's in his earlier, just getting into his mid-50s, and is ripped.
Look at Sylvester Stallone. He admittedly did HGH.
For Deadpool, though, for as ripped as he was in Deadpool. Come on now.
Yeah.
You were on some delicious
Wolverine
supplement.
Origins Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yes. That, too. Yeah. You were on some stuff.
But the thing about it is all these actors, all these professional...
They probably don't even know because their fucking person came in and was like, oh, we got this great supplements
exactly.
for you.
Here's a shot.
We'll just do this diet. Hey, we'll we'll hit you with this real quick. This is fine. Like blah blah blah, and they probably don't even know that they were on.
They know
they were on a total fucking turn.
You feel like you're 18 again. Your boner fucking gets hard when the wind blows.
They got to change their boxers in the middle of the night for some, a little wet dream action.
Start getting acne again,
on their back and fucking face again. They're like, what is going on?
Why are my balls so shriveled?
But then they look down at their stomach and their chest and their arms, and they're like, my God.
All I'm saying is steroids do not mess up how big your dick is. It just shrinks your nutsack.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
Oh. So you're like permanent steroid user then, right?
I would hate to have seen how big it was before it got shrunk.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it makes your dick small, da-da-da. No, it really doesn't. It shrinks your nuts a little bit. Makes your nuts a little bit small.
I like the roid rage one.
So roid rage all depends on the person. It depends on you. Depends
if you're
on
an angry person to begin with. It's the same. If you're an addict of anything, if you're an addict of anything, whatever that tendency that you have before you became an addict is going to reveal itself even more when you're an addict.
I disagree.
Okay.
So I will openly admit that I've done steroids. I have done tren. I have done some of the shit that like is some of the upper stuff that they tell you not to do. And you guys know I'm kind of an angry person. I can kind of get there really quick.
I wouldn't say an angry person is
not an angry person.
I just say your
if someone's checking
maybe
you,
a little short.
My fuse is a little short.
I just say if someone's checking you.
But honestly,
that's
so
in my eyes.
I've dealt with this and I've seen people because I used to be huge in like the bodybuilding world and lifting and stuff. My dad was Mr. Utah, Mr. Greater Northwest, Mr. Intermountain.
Vince McMahon tried to recruit him.
No, I'm just saying. So
world bodybuilding
when
championship.
I dabbled in these things, so tren is one of the most that will like make you crazy and make you like raging and this and that. Like it made me calmer.
Okay.
I didn't really see a huge shift in my personality, but that's what I tell people too. Is I tell people if you're going to dabble in this industry and you're going to dabble in, taking some things that are going to make your structure a little bit different, like you have to realize what you're doing, because depending on who you are, like for me, I didn't get angry. I didn't get side effects, but some people get fucking really pissed and like do some horrible shit,
Yeah, I've met a couple of people that I suspected were having roids rages, and at that particular point in time, they were drinking and like semi-heavily.
So you don't know what it could have been,
Well, I do know that alcohol exacerbates your emotions. So what that means is rather than making you do and say things that you don't normally think or do, it really just lowers your inhibitions to actually say those things or do those things.
Okay.
But then you feel like you're like, when you're doing these steroids, you feel like you're an 18-year-old kid again.
I would imagine.
Like your wiener gets hard when you when your pajama pants rub it the wrong way while you're fucking shifting directions while you sleep. It's like, and it's like, whoa, buddy.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So,
amazing.
So if you want to get buff, you don't need Viagra.
No.
Oh. Wait. I don't need Viagra? I thought that was like
I think Cialis works better than Viagra anyway.
Oh.
I've never taken
either.
I mean, I haven't had to take any of them by a doctor, but if you want to fucking show a girl a good time and you want to be like, the talk of the town, like you pop a fucking Cialis before and they're like, it's like a double-edged sword, right?
What?
So you're going to enter this situation. They're going to be like, you're the best I've ever had.
But
then they're going to be like, can you repeat this again?
Do you take it before the date?
Oh yeah.
Like hours before, or do you take it as
hours
dinner's
before
coming down towards the end?
No, you take it.
You're kind of confident. You're like, all right, we're going home tonight.
No, you take it hours before, because either way, you're going to go home and enjoy your night, right?
Okay.
Well, I suppose I won't at least roll out of the bed.
Because I would.
Yeah, you got a kickstand there.
I would think that would be a terrible time if you take one and then you go on your date And then in the middle of your date, you realize, I can't stand this person that's sitting across from me right now.
This man is the modern day equivalent of a chimpanzee or a macaque, and I guarantee you, he will not let that ruin his evening.
No. Have you seen how many outlets for available porn there are these days?
It's gonna sound like somebody is beating the shit out of a slab of ham in a kitchen in his house for at least an hour.
Have you ever gone to the grocery store as a young man and just hit the fucking beef or the steak with your hand and just slapped it?
Greg,
you're a bad girl.
Greg, what you're saying is the physical embodiment of Zoolander.
I mean,
They were trying to get the hard drive out of the Apple computer.
My name is Derelict, and I may say derelict my balls.
yeah. What I'm saying is he'll have bruises from the waist down.
Ooh.
Have you seen Zoolander? Yes. Derelict my balls.
Derelict.
That's a good
I've
one.
seen Zoolander.
I know.
It's
I still need to see you come to work with a razor scooter. And
That
start
would be great.
busting out
So
some tricks.
I went to the Goodwills this
I
weekend,
would
and
love-
there was a red Razor scooter for $17.99 that I almost
should have
bought.
bought it.
No, you're a skater. You
Damn
you have
Hansel.
more.
I do
you
have more couth.
Yeah.
Hansel is so amazing right now.
Oh, good God.
Did you guys remember how cool Razor scooters were when we were kids?
No, because I was never.
And the
actually
wheelie
cool.
bars, you remember the wheelie bars on them too? Like the
Oh,
railing
yeah.
with like you could do wheelies on them and shit. And
Good.
Oh, I remember
the scooter craze, bro.
Yeah, I remember that little.
You remember the scooter
I
craze?
remember when
I
people
wasn't
are into
around
that.
too much on that. I mean, I was around for that, but I was a skater.
Me too.
You know
You
what
hated
I'm
those
around.
kids.
You know what I'm around for tonight.
We weren't around for the fruit booters, and
Fruit bitters, fuck yeah.
yeah,
Fuck
What's
yeah.
a fruit booter?
yeah,
A rollerblader?
yep.
Were you a rollerblader?
Screw you guys. Rollerblading was fun.
So you did rollerblading. You were a fruit booter.
booter.
So you used to go and cut us off in the bowls and do weird like shit in there, like when we were trying to actually like drop in and do some cool shit.
No. See, I skated too. And the only acceptable form of transportation in a skate park is a skateboard or your feet. But I did rollerblade, but it was more of a mode of transportation, and I played street hockey.
He's not a true skateboarder.
Fruit booter.
Fruit booter.
You.
So
Greg is forever known.
I was skating.
This comes from the chairman of the board, by the way. The chairman of the board has decreed that Mr. Greg is a dirty fruit booter.
I challenge your judgment.
Thumbs down.
I challenge your judgment.
This is in the court now.
I bring to the jury. I have ridden skateboards since the very early age, and from the year 1987. Have either one of you?
How old were you in 1987?
5 years old.
You rid a skateboard when you were 5?
Yes, it was a Joe
I was
Cool.
one.
It was a Joe Cool deck. It
From
was
Camel cigarettes.
Yeah, maybe.
Joe
It
Cool
could
was
have
from
been.
Camel cigarettes, bro.
No. Joe Cool. No. Joe Cool was Snoopy, bro. Back in the 80s.
Not when Camel came out, though. That was Joe Cool.
Okay, well, maybe I'm getting this wrong. And if you know, feel free to pop in the comments.
I think
Either
it was
way,
Camel cigarettes.
It was a Snoopy board, right? It was, I don't even know what the brand was. But it was the Snoopy board. It was the old school style with the round front nose instead of having two 45s. You know, you had the tail that angled up. Well, back then the nose was level with the rest of the deck. Had the rail
And
sliders.
a triangular
what you're
accent.
I got
David has the hiccups now.
the goddamn hiccups. I don't know why.
He's so upset that I challenged his judgment.
He's
But
had
I
too much
will
boardroom
say,
banter.
No,
Elf.
what he's saying
There's
is
no such thing, and you take it back, you dirty whore.
he's saying he had an Apollo board. Had the rail sliders on it, squared off nose.
It wasn't
was
squared.
Is that
it
like
was
a poser
round.
board?
It was
Is
an
that like a
Apollo
cheater board?
It was an Apollo board.
What I'm telling you is I was 5 years old and skateboarding. I had I have an uncle who's only like 9.5 years older than me. So
9.5 years older only?
Yeah,
Did you just say only 9.5 years older?
Well,
You just made Diddy's ears perk up.
ooh, gross. So yeah,
Vince McMahon's.
having an uncle who's only 9 years older than you, and the
I don't
youngest
think he was a
of
part of pedophilia.
he was the youngest of 6 kids. So it was more like having an older brother. Right now, somebody is jumping out of an airplane with $1 million in cash in a briefcase. Either of you? No. David?
Is it the anniversary of
DB Cooper? No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But I think DB Cooper's grandchild or great-grandchild just flew over the top of us.
So all I'm going to say is because you just told me that you don't think Vince McMahon. So the Ring Boys that was brought up in the Vince McMahon documentaries, there was the Ring Boys that were underage and some weird shit going on.
Those people.
No, I'm just saying. You just said that,
I'm
he did some weird shit with fucking underage kids.
I'm saying that he wasn't a part of that.
How do you know?
Well,
And neither was Diddy.
no, Diddy. Totally.
Oh.
But
I think Vince McMahon was headlining his parties.
The accusations came out that it was just this hiccups, everybody. I'm sorry. These accusations, it was only like these people that were below.
David had way too big of a chew.
Way below him in terms of it was their COOs, whatever, below them. The people where they'll let shit go and they won't tell the owner. Be like, oh yeah, everything's going good, blah, blah, blah.
HR.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Everything's going great. We're doing great. We got everything all set up and we're fine. It's good, boss. We're good. Okay.
You're doing that 1940s impression perfectly.
Pretty good with the hiccup and all.
I'm trying to get it.
He's trying to get that cock out of his mouth right now. There you go.
No, it's more hit in the back of the tickler thing. That
God dang.
yeah.
No, I'm still mad about this skateboarding thing. I've been skateboarding.
You were a fruit booter.
I'm not saying an Apollo board is like a bad thing to have.
I was 5. Who cares? It was
That's what
probably
You
bought at
had
Kmart.
you
That's
were
what
a
I'm
fruit
saying.
booter.
It's not a bad, but that is pretty bad. You were a fruit booter.
Bro, we had a quarter pipe in the driveway.
Can I tell you something?
That's all for a skateboard or a BMX bike. Not a pair of rollerblades.
I never owned rollerblades my whole life.
So I did, and I was like super happy to have them. Where I grew up, also there wasn't a lot for like youth to do, and so skateboard, rollerblades, bicycle. There's a hill in the town I grew up in, and my brother is going to know exactly what I'm talking about right now. This infamous hill in the town I grew up in. The seniors used to paint their class year on this hill. We would roll pumpkins down this hill. Not only did we roll pumpkins down this hill, I have been down this hill on a skateboard, bicycle, rollerblades, shopping cart, and a hand truck, my friends. Yes, a hand truck, commonly known as a dolly, right? But with the wheels on the handle part, like a furniture dolly, how it has the wheels so you can lay it down flat and roll it across the floor. It's a decently graded hill. It's got one of those big rig warning signs on the top there. Hey, this is a steep grade. And it's pretty infamous in the town I grew up in. Anyways, I have been down that hill on multiple forms of transportation, including rollerblades. And the most painful was the shopping cart. The rollerblades are not shameful. In street hockey was fun.
That's the only time rollerblades are ever allowed is street hockey.
I agree.
I'm gonna go do a trick. Watch me go down this half pipe. Whee! Let me kick my legs back.
Way easier on
Fruity, bro.
Way easier on the rollerblades than a skateboard, and some people would disagree. Kind of like the skiing versus snowboarding.
I don't think
thing.
anybody would disagree. Like, it's way easier to do it on rollerblades than it is a skateboard.
In my opinion, yeah. I've dropped in on both.
I will say at least rollerblading. Derick at least. it's making a comeback right now.
You're kidding me.
No. Wow. Even Greg chimes in on that. Yeah, it's making it. So, because it fell off. God.
Well,
It fell off. So after a couple X Games, it kind of fell off. And rollerblading is pretty much died out. It's still skating, right? You can look it up right now on YouTube. Rollerblading is making a comeback.
Rollerblading?
Just saying.
You should go to the deep hell that fucking Cabbage Patch dolls are in.
Tell me how you really
So
feel.
rollerblading, you should just fuck off with your wheels. Don't even spin.
The only thing I appreciate about rollerbladers
Is nothing.
Janko jeans.
No, they still don't even wear Janko jeans these days.
That was...
Not these days, though. Have you seen a rollerblader in skinny jeans?
Here's the thing.
No, we didn't wear skinny
But
jeans
here's the
back
thing.
then.
They do now.
Janko obviously was more of the rave scene back then, right?
Rave?
Yeah.
I think it was more of a sticking a
No.
2-liter in your back pocket and getting in the
No.
movie theater for free.
No.
Right.
It was more or less the rave scene that really, in my eyes, introduced...
How much ecstasy were your fucking friends sticking in your back pockets of their fucking shorts? For the Janko jeans to be the rave scene. Like, how many ecstasy pills can you stuff in one pocket of Janko jeans?
Sorry,
David's in a bad way.
but I am... My God. This is...
Hold your breath for 10
I'm
seconds.
trying to hold my breath for 10 seconds. It's not happening. Because I get punched in the gut. And I'm like, oh,
His headphones
Just
are moving
like that,
forward.
Yeah.
just like that.
I know,
But-
it looks like Vitas.
I will say at least
Vitas.
what I knew as my youth is that
That's what he knew. That's what he knew.
the Janko was more associated with the raver scene, at least in my youth. But
Were your ravers hiding 5 other people inside of each pant leg? That's all I gotta say.
but when I associated them, it was with the
How many
Rollerblade
raves did you go to,
community,
David?
yeah.
rollerblader scene.
How many raves did you go to?
Because it looked like they were just floating. Because the
Because
pants
Janko
were just
jeans, I don't think were ever a thing at raves.
Are you serious? It was because of the massive floaty style. It was like,
Yeah, I saw Janko jeans at
I think
raves.
I think
Yeah.
I would have rather
I
seen
saw-
MC Hammer pants at jeans because the floaty style, like pop, 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 like those
I knew-
MC Hammer pants, I feel like would have floated way better than Janko's.
a Janko fucking 40-inch. See, that didn't look floaty to you when they were out fucking doing their thing.
Did you see MC
good-
Hammer and those
the good
fucking
ones
like
that knew actually
silk
how to
pants?
that like knew how to liquid dance back then?
Yeah, but MC
Did
Hammer
anybody
pants,
know how to liquid dance back then?
Oh, back then, yeah, there was great.
I mean, no.
That's not really like I guarantee people are listening. Besides that,
Can you hiccup and liquid dance at the same time right now, people?
no.
If
But
they're our age, they know what we're talking
if
about.
there's people our age, they're gonna know what liquid dancing actually.
I don't even know
is.
what liquid dancing is.
Yeah, you should look it up sometime. It's
I'm not into
it's
water
breaking.
sports.
It's an
It sounds like I need a poncho.
so it's a form of breaking, but
Breaking what? The beatbox?
Okay. Well, you know,
Wow.
we've got all this talk about skateboarding,
I got hiccups.
roller skating.
But Jesus Christ, Derek,
Yeah.
what the hell is wrong with you?
We got all this talk about skateboarding and rollerblading.
You know what popping is?
Pop and lock.
Exactly. Okay.
Pop, lock it, drop it.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pop, lock it,
there.
drop it.
Pop it, lock
all
it,
right.
drop it.
Derek's picking up.
But if someone's popping and
picking up what
locking
we're
in
putting
Janko
down.
jeans, you can't even tell what they're doing.
that's
That's
There's
kinda
like
the
another
point.
mile
Okay.
in between. You're like, what the fuck? And the
That's-
Janko jeans don't even move.
I'm telling you, liquid popping. Look it up sometime.
So do they piss in their Jankos? Liquid popping.
into a condom cap.
The reason it was called liquid. The reason. God.
Live and direct.
The reason it was called liquid poppin' is because it was your normal standard fare poppin', but they called it liquid because
and you peed.
David sounds like somebody who's supposed to write the standard procedures for a company.
David sounds like Christopher Reeves when he's trying to explain something about Superman, but he's
yeah. Christopher Reeves. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Except
there we go.
for instead of it being your standard fare pop, where it was
There we go.
like that.
We got like another one in
was
4,
liquid.
3,
They called it
2, 1. Yep,
Nope,
almost.
God damn.
There we go.
They called it liquid.
You broke him.
Because it looked like water when people were popping.
Brought to you from our sponsor.
Whoa.
Boardroom banter ale. Fuck you.
Okay, but really, I have a question. So, we're talking about rollerblading, skateboarding, popping and locking.
Yeah.
You know, hiccuping on cue, all that stuff. But what I really want to know is, do you have any secret talents?
I can hiccup like
on command?
Not on command.
Hiccup now.
All right, let me show you something right now. Put your microphone down. Put it down.
I can hiccup in the worst
David,
circumstances.
Put your microphone down.
Oh,
Put it down.
hold on.
I gotta see this. Put your microphone down.
David is now putting down his microphone.
Take your 2 fingers. 2 index fingers.
He took a middle finger on one hand.
'Kay.
And a middle finger on another hand.
Let your brain wrap around this. Try to touch your fingers as close as you can together without actually touching your fingertips. Fingertips. You got to touch them as close as you can together without actually touching. You can't touch the skin. The skin will not touch. Look at your fucking fingers right now. Look at your thank you.
Oh God.
You look at your fingers. Look, no, you're not going close enough because because you're barely not touching. So you go there and you're looking at your fingers and the skin may not be touching right now. You may not be rubbing. I don't know why you're a freak of nature and you're still fucking hipping right now, but just look at your fingers. Look at them. Look at them.
I'm fucking looking.
Is the skin touching? Does the skin put lotion on?
No, because I'm not in a goddamn hole with a basket.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, you haven't hiccup for like a... fuck you.
You fucked it up. He needs a lime wedge with bitters on it. That always works for me.
You're not holding your hands the right way. Put them up. Put them up like this. Like
This would work a lot better if I didn't have the fucking hiccups right now.
So stop thinking about the hiccups and think about the skin on your fingers.
So, Derick, what is your hidden talent other than talking people through their hiccups?
I don't know. Growing a beard.
Well, you are very talented at growing a beard. He does a very naturally
I give up.
voluptuous
I'm not
beard.
letting you talk me into that anymore. I give up.
I'm sure there's something you're good at that you haven't told us yet. That's just weird or unusual.
Apparently, it's not touching foreskin. That's what he was
I
trying
don't
to
have
get
much foreskin to touch.
That's what he was trying to get me to do just now. He was like, imagine your fingers touching but not touching.
Yeah, like he
Get
was
him.
like
Get
he
him.
was prepping you for docking.
Yeah.
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 I can color really well.
Well, that is a talent. I'm not good at that.
I don't
David?
know.
He's the kind of guy that takes colored pencils and he draws really hard on the outlines.
You're the kind of guy that
With
takes
that
colored
color.
pencils and
And then he does it really light in between all of the
At like a 15-degree angle, so
Yeah.
it's like shading.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's that kind
Do you want to see some of my fucking colored pencil drawings?
Oh God.
Are they tits? Because that's kind of what I expect to see right now.
Yeah, are they fucking tits?
I just draw dicks.
Bro.
Bro.
whole
Okay,
time.
so I'll tell you mine. Ready?
All I did was I just drew dicks in school the whole time.
Dick treasure chest.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
You know, hairy
penises.
ones, bald ones,
Oh,
big
good
ones, floppy ones.
No, that's good.
Did you draw that?
No, I colored it.
Oh,
No, that looks great though.
I mean, I'm impressed, but
there's some technique to that.
if
We'll
you
see.
if
We'll
you
see.
drew it, I'd be.
No,
I
not that
have
good.
never seen a picture of a naked hobo so amazing before.
Wow.
Hey, let me ask you, did they add all those weird little bumps on that hobo's private parts?
He's using it.
Or was that artistic license?
So I color like a motherfucker.
Actually, no. Realistically, yeah, that looks great.
Oh, I was gonna.
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking shit anymore. Okay. No, that looks...
no, you can talk plenty of shit.
Yeah, no, man, those
are my little secret talents. I do like the color.
David, I'm sure you have several secret talents.
Apparently, it's hiccuping in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah. No, that's not a talent.
And I can't get them to go away.
Actually, we're drafting your resignation right now as the chairman of the board.
You know, if the board members would have it, I guess I would accept it. But
no, we're not doing that. We're keeping you as the chairman now forever, and we're calling you Hiccup Chairman.
Fuck. Fuck me.
No. So
I've tried to get them to go away. It hasn't worked.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things that it's like if you knew how to cure hiccups, you'd be a millionaire.
Well, I know the cure, but unfortunately in this area here can't get them to go away. So unfortunately, I just got to deal with it. It's a sad thing. I apologize in advance.
Well, my hidden secret talent is I'm actually pretty good at juggling.
I remember that, actually, because Amelia, for about 4 days after the last time you came over here, she begged me to juggle with her.
I can teach you. It is pretty easy.
I mean, I know the basic bitch juggling, but...
You're just doing the same thing 3 times in a row. Or possibly more.
I just kept telling her, no, sweetheart, just wait for Greg.
Depending on the amount of objects you wish to juggle.
Oh.
I can't juggle shit.
He's talking about juggling balls.
Oh.
Actually, I prefer sacks.
If they're in the same sack, you can't really get it wrong.
Well, sacks are easier. They do not bounce out of your hands.
If it's 3 balls in one sack, like you can't drop it.
Very true.
If you have a unit nut.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you're really just repeating the same motion 3 times using both hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not coordinated enough to juggle.
If you have some kind of a weird talent, an unusual talent, an off the beaten path talent, feel free to pop in the comments. Let us know what that is. Post a video if it's something cool. We will, definitely.
David can't stop hiccuping. That's a talent.
If it's something that would be on like backroom casting couch, you can still let us know if it's a weird talent.
Yeah, maybe send that to the email.
Just try and keep it PC enough that YouTube or Spotify or whatever won't.
We will watch all of your casting couch.
We're not going to watch
interviews.
No.
Well, that's kind of what you just...
So just to be clear, your posts are your responsibility.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. At
the end of the day. Post in the comments, that is all you.
Please post.
Oh my God, these hiccups are so terrible right now.
Well, right now, I think we need to give David assed mouth resuscitation.
So with that...
Less ass, more mouth.
I think more ass, less mouth.
Yeah. I think he's about to get a double buns.
That's a terrible thing.
You're about to fucking take a bong rip out of an asshole, buddy.
Maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
It's a terrible affliction where his mouth now sounds like his butthole.
That felt great. I hope they go away now after
They won't.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they don't?
I know.
Damn.
Fuck's sake. How is anybody going to sleep next to you tonight?
There we go.
I feel bad for your wife.
I feel bad for myself.
With that being said, David, why don't you let us know, where can you find Boardroom Banter?
You can find Boardroom Banter on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, YouTube.
You totally can.
It's definitely there.
You can find it on Rumble as well.
Let's get ready.
See?
I always thought that was a weird, man-on-man dating site, but I'm not going to lie. We're on Rumble, too.
I don't blame you for that one.
Right. The last vestige of free speech.
And Spotify.
Definitely awesome on Spotify.
Find us there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every Friday, David, what time?
Every Friday. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Every Friday.
Every Friday, without fail.
Without a fail in the world.
Start your weekend off right.
I hope you want to start it off the right way. Everybody, we'll see you next time. Take